All right, we are on another project here, looking at the front facade. Once again, met with the homeowner. They are wanting to do some type of lighting that goes along the front of the house here. They have kind of an existing system here. I got some guys working up on the roof, but we're going to take a look here. So we got a front entry garage. So we're kind of thinking about how we're going to light over here. We've got stuff through in here. You will see a lot of times too, guys will put, a core light here, and they'll core another hole and put in an in-ground well light here, and then maybe something over here as well. Once again, we have this peak here, and this peak right here, we're going to have to light from here and then to this corner and cross light it. And then we've got a third story peak, so we might be putting something up there, shooting across this little guy over in here. I could also, if I don't want to go up there, I could elect to light down here on that lower gutter. But let's talk about what will happen if I do that. If I do this and I light down here and I shine it up to here, it is going to catch this lip right there, and it will shadow a little bit up in there. Same thing from over here. If I try to hit that bigger peak with the brick, I'm going to cast some shadows. So I'm going to get a shadow probably about halfway up on that brick would be my guess. So if I didn't want to have any shadow, I would have to place the light on that, on that gutter right up in there. So that'll be a couple things that we look at and talk about. That involves a little bit more labor and stuff for doing that. Landscape not a whole lot here. Not real worried about it. We're on a corner lot here, and we're in the middle of a subdivision. With all the reflection, probably we'll have enough light for the sidewalk. That is something that I'm probably not going to talk about. They didn't seem to be too interested in doing anything along the path. They just want a nice glow across the whole front of the home here. So that's what we're going to look at. On a sidewalk like this, let's talk about this. You'll see on a home that's been existing here, sometimes you can get kind of lucky in these corners and get your stretch bit across right there. Where that pour of concrete for the step meets the porch that's raised, sometimes there's a little bit of a void under there that you can easily pass through to get to the other side. So that is one way. Something like this, where right here, this isn't a great sidewalk to try to cross. That's unless I try to actually split that open or cut that with a saw, that's not a real great expansion joint to use. And a lot of them look very similar to this. As I'm looking at these, it looks like there's been one right here that was put in. Whoever put this old system in, looks like a homeowner. They tried to redo that, so I could go through here and just redo that for them as well, make that look a little nicer. Transformer is right over here. I'm not a real big fan of putting it in the front like this. I will talk to them. It would make things a lot easier to do that, but I'm not always the biggest fan for that. And then we'll talk about how we light out here, and we would have to tear out this whole expansion joint and remove that if we do any core drilling, and then we would have to come into here. So there's a lot of work. The alternative is we mount a light over here and a light over here, and then over here we actually have to put something on the house that shines up, and then we'll do the peak, but that's going to involve doing the lighting up in the actual gutter. But we're going to have to talk to them if they want to do some core drilling, and they want us to do some lighting on that as well. Going to take a look over here real quick too to see where our outlets are in the garage. Looks like you can kind of see some stuff like this where it's pretty loaded up. They got the dog fence on there, it looks like, and some other things maybe. Not sure that I'm going to want to use that outlet. And then I'm going to take a look and see if there's an outlet over here. I don't know that there is. They do have a shop vac, so there is one over here. I got to check and see what that shop vac is. That might be a dedicated circuit. I'm not sure what it actually pulls, but I will take a look and see on that. I'm going to video that so I know what I'm working with there. I'm not sure if I can use that outlet or not, but I have a feeling that is tied in to the one that's right on the other side outdoor, so it may not matter either way. All right. Another thing that I want to point out is I have in the past too taken lights that it would go up into that little eave and shine down. But with this shadow right here, or with this, ledge here and shining straight down, it's just going to cast more of a shadow here. So probably going to elect to just do uplighting. I think I'd be a much nicer look on that, but just wanted to point that out as well.